Yeah, students, today we'll see about some complex methods in solving your beams. Like in our previous classes, we had seen different conditions in beams, like whenever there is an inclination of your loading condition, when there is different types of loading conditions, and to figure up the distance between the loads, everything we had calculated already. So in this class, I'll just define you about some complex, if there is some complexity in the problems to define it, how to solve that. I'm not going too deep inside to calculate your summation of H, summation of V and summation of moment. I hope everyone now can able to solve your summation of horizontal forces is equal to 0, vertical and moment. In this class, I'll define you how to convert this complex sum into the simple problem so that you can do the regular steps as like your previous problems. So see that what is the difference between this sum and the previous sum is, in this support it is inclined. Like our previous problems, only the loading condition were inclined, here your support itself inclined. So to resolve this, how to resolve, we'll see now. Since this is normally hinge support, what will be the reaction? There will be a reaction vertically as well as horizontal. To resolve this, load is also inclined over here. So to resolve this, you will get one vertical and another one horizontal. Already the theta is given in the question, so no need to find any theta over here. Then what is the next load condition? This UDL we have to convert into a point load. How to convert? That is UDL 50 into the length is 3 meter. So when you multiple with that, you will get your point load loading condition. Only the complexity over here is how the reaction is going to act on B. See, this is your B and it is inclined, so automatically your reaction will also be in a inclined direction. Now we have to find what is the angle of your inclination. So we need to find two angles, that is alpha and beta. They had given a clue like the triangle lies in an inclination of 1:2. So using that we have to calculate our angles first, then we have to resolve this into a simple beam condition. So I'll teach you now that. See, take this condition. Okay. This is your RB value, that is inclination of your support. Given in the question, the whole triangular value is of 1/2, so I am taking 1/2 over here and considering this as beta. When this is opposite and adjacent, we can use a formula of tan theta and you can tan beta, and you can find what is the beta value from that. If you get the beta value, automatically this will be 90 degree. So how to calculate the alpha value? The total angle of the triangle will be 180. So 180 degree minus other two sides, that is 90 plus beta. When you do that, you will get the remaining alpha value. That is what I had done over here. Tan beta is equal to opposite by adjacent, so beta is equal to 26.56 degree. When you do that, multiple with 180 degree minus 90 plus 26.56 degree, you will get alpha is equal to 63.43. Now we have to resolve this force into two conditions. This is your reaction RB, which is acting towards your beam, so that it will be in this angle. When you resolve this, how the vertical and horizontal will act? Towards the up one and towards the left side one. The alpha is here, so the closest will have the cos and the far away will have your sine. This is like a normal condition. Now we have to plot the same thing in a question. See, now when you see this sum, it will be difficult to plot you the reactions. So we are converting this sum into the normal problem. So you can easily resolve these forces and you can find what is the reactions at all these supports. How we resolved over here? I hope everyone understood this. So this is the basic thing, RAX and RAY. This is 100 sine 45 and 100 cos 45 since your load is inclined like this. This 150 is converted from your UDL and this is your reaction of support RB. This is your RB is acting horizontally and also vertically over here. That is what we had mentioned over here, and the distance parameter also we know. What is the next step to find? As like your previous problems, there are three conditions, that is summation of H is equal to 0, summation of V is equal to 0 and moment is equal to 0. When you do that, you will get the value for the RAY, RAX, RB and every value. Okay, so we got the value for RB, RAX and RAY. Like the last video I had concluded with to find the resultant. So we can use this from the today's sum, we can use that formula. So how to find your resultant? R is equal to RAX square plus RAY square to the square root. Okay, when you do that you will get your resultant RA value. So as a whole you can write the value for RA and RB. You know, don't need to mention RAX and RAY separately. If you do that also, it doesn't matter a lot, but you have to find the resultant as well for your safer side of your marks. Okay, sometimes in the given answer key they may have the resultant value, but you already found what is RAX and RAY. They may reduce mark for it, so don't give any chance to reduce your marks. So always when you calculating RAX, RAY, do find your resultant value. When you find your RA is equal to 102.18. After that, go for a theta. Theta is equal to tan inverse of RAY by RAX. Substitute your value and get your theta value. This is the only one complexity in your sum. I hope you understood how to calculate this. Nothing more complex is here. Only the thing you need to know is like how to resolve the force horizontally and vertically even if it is inclined. This is what you have to know, and you have to know to find the angle of action. So we'll see one more problem related to that with some other complexity. In this sum, what is the difference here is like we have a vertical load also and it is in UDL condition. Since like previous problems we never seen this type of conditions. This is one among the problem which have some different complexity, so I took this problem for you. See, the question states that find the support reactions at A and B for the beam loaded as shown in figure. A and B is there. A is a normal support, so we have two reactions over in A, that is RAX and RAY. Both will act. Then there is a point load, that is 5 kilonewton. Then there is a moment 10 kilonewton meter. What is the next load? This is your UDL. To convert this UDL into point load, you have to plot W into L, and the distance will be half, that is 1.5 over here and 1.5 over here. Same condition only we are going to apply in the vertical system also. You have to see what type of load is acting. What is the type of load is acting over here? It is a UDL. So whenever you are plotting the UDL, this will become W into L at a distance of half and half, that is W L by 2 and L by 2 on either side. And this is your roller support, so you will have one more reaction over here. This is the analyzing of your beam first. You have to analyze the beam first, then you have to plot your free body diagram. This is your free body diagram what I had explained previously. RAX, RAY, 5 kilonewton, 10 kilonewton meter and 6 kilonewton is from the UDL and 3 kilonewton is also from the UDL. What is the next step after seeing this? We'll directly go to finding the summation of H is equal to 0. When you resolve summation of H is equal to 0, you have to add this 3 also. This 3 is acting in a negative direction, so you have to take it as a minus 3. What is the other force? RAX, which is acting in a positive direction. So your summation of H is equal to 0 when you take, you will get a value for RAX. When you vertically resolve it, you will get one equation. Here only one complexity will be there to calculate the moment. You have to critically think and you have to take the moment over here. I am just taking the moment at point B. You can also take at point A wherever the loading condition is acting. Consider this point now. How the load is going to act? This RAY is going to move in a clockwise direction. So it is positive. This 5 kilonewton is going to act in a negative direction. What about this 10 kilonewton meter? This is a moment which is already in a negative or anti-clockwise direction. And then one more load, that is 6 kilonewton, which is going to act in a anti-clockwise direction. This is your moment calculation. When you do that, you will get a value for moment. Why we are not considering the 3 kilonewton? Since it is acting on a same plane, we doesn't have any perpendicular distance. But when you take for A, you have to consider this 3. When you take on B, you don't need to consider this distance. Okay. According to that, you can take it wisely on any one of the side. At A also you can take, at B also you can take, but the answer will remain same. So you should not conclude that I had taken moment over here, so the answer will be different. It will not be. Wherever you take, the answer will be same. When you do that, you will get RAY value. Substitute that RAY value in equation 1 and get your RB value. So you got now RB, RAX and RAY. For what support we have to find the resultant? At support A, we have to find the resultant. So RA is equal to RAX square plus RAY square to the square root. So when you do that, you will get the resultant value as 8.155 kilonewton. And the theta also we had calculated accordingly. I hope now everyone will be familiar doing your reactions, horizontal summation, vertical summation and moment summation. Only the difficulty you will face is like to convert your problems, like complex problems into your simple free body diagram. I'll give you one more clue to convert it. This is like a general reminder for you. We already know how to convert your UDL into a symbol force. So when you convert the UDL, you have to do it like W into L acting at a distance of L by 2 on either side. Same like when you are taking for a varying load, you know how you will do WL divided by 2, and from the 0 load the distance will be 2 L by 3 and L by 3. This is already a known thing. Now consider one complex thing when you have this type of load. See, this is your load where it is a varying load, but it has a starting load of W1 and ending load of W2. What is the formula to resolve this? Because we know to resolve your uniformly distributed load separately and varying load separately, but in this case how you will resolve it? Consider here this W1 and this is W2. So this W1 is going to act till last at the whole area, right? So I am taking this whole thing as a UDL, and the remaining thing how it shows? It is like your VDL now, because it is 0 here and it is W2 over here. So it is a combination of your UDL and varying load. That is what I had mentioned over here. See here. That can be resolved into two things, that is one as a UDL and the other one as a VDL, like varying load. Okay, so when do that, how you will calculate your how you will convert the thing into a simple diagram. This is your beam. Consider this is your beam now. For the UDL, what is the formula? W into L. So I am marking one thing first, that is W into L, and it will be act at a distance of L by 2 on either side. And there is an other load of varying load also. What is the formula to calculate your varying load? It is W L divided by 2, and it will act at a distance of 2L by 3, and the remaining is L by 3. So whenever they are giving you some complexity like this, you have to convert that into two loading condition and plot accordingly. That is what I had mentioned over here. W into L is for UDL, W into L by 2 is for varying load, and the distance I had plotted accordingly. This is the one complexity. Sometimes it may come, so do aware of that. We'll move to another two more problems of some other complex. Okay, so consider this problem. A beam ABCDE has a flexible link at BC as shown in figure. Determine the support reaction at A, D and E. This is what given. Flexible means, what is the meaning for flexible? It has some spring on it, so that there will be some tension acting between two. That is what. Whenever there is a link, or like a staircase, the beams are being drawn, it has to be considered as two different sections. That is, you can consider this beam as a one and this as an another beam. Only the link is here. This is only the link, and the link they had given like it is a flexible joint. Okay, it is flexible. So we have to mark a diagram first. See this, already a known condition. Whenever there is a normal simply supported end or hinged end, you will have a two reaction, that is RAY and RAX. To convert this UDL, I had taken into a point load with 2.5 meter on either side. Only the next condition is like, we have to see the question. They had given like it has a flexible link BC. That means B and C reaction will be the same thing. Okay, whenever there is a flexibility over there, only there is a connection. So you can take either this joint as a RB or RC. I had mentioned here as RC. You can calculate even using like RB. Terms may differ, but the value will be same. Okay, so this up to this is over. Then see this, what is this condition? Wherever you see the ball, it is the roller support. They may show like this, or sometimes they may give directly like this also. It is also your roller support. If it is a roller support, how you will plot the reaction? Only one vertical reaction will be there, and there is a point load over here, and see here, this is again your hinge support at the last end. So two reaction will be there, that is one is vertical and the other one is horizontal. This is like I had converted the complex problem into a simple problem now. Same method we are going to follow, but the condition is like we are going to separate into two different beams. One beam is from A to C and the other beam is from C to E. Same conditions. I hope you all know to find now how to calculate your reactions. So I'll tell you for this problem, so you can similarly do the other problems. When you consider first A to C, you have to take only this beam. How many reactions are forces are there? One is 10 kilonewton, other one is RC acting upward, RAY and RAX. Consider all these forces and do your summation of H is equal to 0, summation of V is equal to 0 and moment is equal to 0. When you do that, you will get a value for RC, RAX and RAY. Now consider the second beam, that is C, D and E. How many unknown factors are there? Already we got the value for RC. So the unknown factor is REX, REY and RD. When you horizontally and vertically sum that, you will get a value for the other things also. When you get RAX and RAY, you can calculate the resultant and go for the next beam, that is for beam CDE. Same like summation of H is equal to 0, vertical force is equal to 0 and moment is equal to 0. You will get the value for RD and REX and REY. You got two different values for REX and REY. So you have to find the resultant at E support. So I had calculated RE is equal to 1.67 kilonewton. Take all the value and give a solution at the last. This is what the given question. One more problem I will define you with some other complexity. See, this is also a combination of two beams, but they had not mentioned here whether it is a flexible or something, but they had given directly a roller support over here. So now just you itself analyze how many reaction is going to act. This here one vertical reaction, one horizontal reaction. Since it is inclined over here, we have to resolve it vertically and also horizontally. This is your varying load. How we can plot this? WL divided by 2 at a distance of 2L by 3 and L by 3. Here it is a roller support, so one vertical reaction will be there. This is also one roller support. So when it is a support, the forces will go to the surface. So when you consider there, it will go like this. When you consider this beam, it will act like this. This is your UDL. To convert the UDL into point load, what is the formula? W into L acts at a distance of L by 2 and L by 2. This is your normal condition. So after this, you can mark your diagram, free body diagram. Then you have to further follow the same steps. Here we had mentioned this RB. Why? Because it is your roller support over here. Whenever there is a support, how the reaction will act? It will act towards your body. It will not act away from your body. So whenever you are taking the B support, it will act like this. Whenever you are taking here, it will act like this. This direction is very important to resolve your problems, because if the direction changes, your answer will change. So do carefully analyze your beam and find out what are the reactions. Then you go further on finding the reactions. Okay. So we had just now differentiated into two different type of beams. So what is the next step? We have to calculate the A to B, summation of H is equal to 0, summation of V is equal to 0 and summation of moment is equal to 0. When you do that, you will get a value for RB, RAX and RAY. When you get RAX and RAY, you can directly calculate the value for RA. Take the value and do it the next beam, that is C to D. In that, RB will be the known value, RC you have to find, RDX and RDY you have to find it. When you find RDX and RDY, you have to find the resultant of RD. That is what I had given over here. Go through this procedure. If you have doubt, you can ask me at any time. Already it is clear over here. I hope everyone know to do now the reactions. I'm really very hope that you all know to find the reactions clearly, because it's very easy from long away from the module before itself. From the IA1 we are studying the basics of this. to resolve the forces. So I hope that you all can do this easily. Only the complexity will be to convert the beam reactions first. So that you study well and do follow the same steps of summation of horizontal forces is equal to 0, summation of vertical forces is equal to 0, and summation of moment is equal to 0. Till now I had covered all the basics of the beams. Whatever I had taught in the previous class, go through all the sums and do the remaining sums also. Do practice more and more so that you will not get any error while doing in the exams. So in the next class we'll see about the trusses, how to resolve the trusses. Okay, beam portion is over. So in the next class we'll see about the truss portion.